All right, guys, so it looks like we got another video here from Fried Plantain. And, of course, I want to talk about this one, watch this one, because I mentioned Aries Spears a couple videos ago, not sure where, but I brought him up. One of the most bitter comedians working. I used to love Aries. I was a huge Mad TV guy growing up, definitely preferred it to Saturday Night Live for the longest time. In fact, I was such a fan of both shows that if it was worth watching, if they had a good enough guest on Saturday Night Live, I would go back and forth. I would flip between Saturday Night Live and Mad TV, watching both of them. I grew to love Bobby Lee, Aries Spears, Michael McDonald, Will Sasso. That cast was incredible. Some of the funniest and most talented people. But as years have went on, you find that Aries Spears thought that he was Eddie Murphy. He thought he was Martin Lawrence. He was going to be bigger than he is. And I think all of us back then even knew, like, it's just, I don't know. You don't have that star thing everybody looks for. But this is a video that says producer calls out Aries Spears for taking Saudi blood money.
I'm trying to take these steps, man.
Did you take a shower?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Yeah, I didn't, you
didn't want to wipe that blood money off your hands?
That's funny. You got one more and you're fired, nigga.
In this episode of Spears and Steinberg, Aries Spears and Andy Steinberg take the listener behind the scenes of a high-stakes comedy trip to Saudi Arabia, blending reflections on luxury travel, ethical dilemmas, artistic integrity, and cultural exchange.
Okay, but the funniest thing here is nobody watches this shit, first and foremost. Nobody watches this podcast. I didn't even know he was still doing it. After he was on the YKWD with Bobby Kelly, I was under the impression that this shit was over. I mean, he's not getting any listeners. This is probably the most publicity that Aries will have. Right? Because nobody even was aware, outside of this clip, I certainly wasn't, that he went and performed comedy. I mean, I gotta give him credit over there in Saudi Arabia for having any idea who this guy is or why he would be relevant. I mean, sure, it's got to be a good show. Aries is very funny. But to think that they're Mad TV fans? Because when I looked at that poster, man, that was exactly who you would expect. And Aries wasn't on it. But he went over there and took some of that money, right? And apparently, I got to wonder who brought him. Somebody had to have brought him. But who? Who did he open for?
Conversation is structured around three principal axes: the extravagance of the travel experience, the wealth mentality that informs such choices, and the tensions inherent in performing comedy in the politically and culturally fraught context. One of the more striking segments involves Spears' detailed recounting of flying first class on Emirates Airlines, dynamics typically reserved for celebrity or elite travelers.
But I've never flown first on this level. Emirates Airlines, first class, $28,000 seats. I bought one for me and my girl. I mean, the festival paid, but you know what it is. Still my money, so whatever.
Yeah, well, don't say it that way. Don't say it that way, then.
And they serve you caviar, which I've never had, but I said I'm going to do it because I'm going to go all out with this experience. There was you could shower.
Yeah,
there was a shower in the back.
Yeah, you're going to go all out, Aries, because this is the first and last time shit like this will ever happen to you. And of course, he wastes the fucking money. He's throwing the money away. But then he's going to go right back on Tiger Belly and cry about how he's not successful, how he wishes he was this and that. But here he is buying an extra plane seat for his girl, costing him 28 grand. I think he could use that money for more than, right? Like, I don't know.
Bathroom. They have, and you know,
because you get a room, right? It's like a little room.
It's like a suite in the air. And on the bottom level, because I didn't understand this at first. So the first we get on the plane, and I didn't even know there was two entrances. There's the upstairs, which is where we were, and there's the bottom level where the minions stay. I sent out a post when we flew back from Saudi Arabia to Dubai, because we went from LA to Dubai, Dubai to Saudi Arabia, and then the reverse. But on the reverse, there were suites, but these were a little bit even bigger. So at one point, I had my girl shoot this video where I got this classical music playing, and she's zooming in on my suite, and I got the menu, and I turned the page and shit. And then I was reading some of the comments, and somebody goes...
Funny.
And this is what I mean when I say broke talk. Man, I would never pay that much money for a flight. For what? We all going to the same place.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, you can mock it, Aries, as much as you want, but you're the comedian that's crying about not doing well, not being successful, not being Eddie Murphy. And I think that all comes down to money. You don't want to be famous, you want to have money. And here you are throwing this money away. Money handed to you. You didn't have to try for it. Money handed to you, and you're throwing it away. Yes, people are going to be a little bit perturbed. That's weird. Because exactly what I said. You're the guy who's going to go and complain in 3 months on another podcast, or this podcast that nobody watches, about how you ain't got shit. And it's just going to prove us right once again. It gets to the point where a lot of these comedians are just fucking predictable.
Step your game up. That is the weakest I've ever heard. What a horrible mentality. Listen, whatever your game is in life, maybe you work a job or you live a lifestyle where you never make the kind of money to afford that. But the desire should be there.
You couldn't afford it. They paid for it for you. So you couldn't afford it first and foremost. You wouldn't have got to fucking Saudi Arabia if they didn't pay for it. You ain't got the money, Aries. What are we saying?
He notes the ticket cost, $28,000 per seat, was borne by the festival organizers, and describes the experience as the pinnacle of airborne comfort. What stands out is not just the price tag, but the total immersion in comfort and privacy. Individual suites with closing doors, a mattress placed over the seat, full bedding, pajamas, and elaborate continuous dining akin to a restaurant menu rather than a limited airline selection. Even a shared but sanitized shower in the aircraft is part of the package, along with gender-tailored toiletry kits and an onboard bar staffed by a bartender.
Who cares?
Spears frames this level of luxury as transformative. Once one has flown in such conditions...
Yeah, that's because he's been wearing the same outfit for the past 25 years.
Other first-class experiences or premium cabins lose their luster. He contrasts Emirates with Singapore Airlines' first residence suites, which he claims offer 2 full beds and private showers, to argue that even among premium carriers, there are degrees of opulence. This description serves 2 roles. It underscores the privilege and exclusivity of the trip, and it becomes a symbolic anchor for Spears' broader worldview about success, comfort, and aspiration. Throughout the podcast, Spears invokes what he calls wealth mentality against what he terms broke talk. That is, a mindset of scarcity or stinginess in the face of opportunity.
So what's he gonna say? You gotta spend money to make money? Huh? That's what he's gonna say, right? You gotta spend money to make money. Like, I grew up in X place, and I had to, $500 in my pocket, but I moved to the Y place so I could, get the success, because X wasn't gonna lead to that. Sacrifice, baby. That's predictable, bro.
He pushes back on criticisms that the $28,000 first-class fare is obscene or unnecessary, labeling such remarks among the weakest arguments he has heard. His rebuttal is grounded in aspiration, even if one cannot yet afford...
You gotta stop saying aspiration. The guy's 55. Aspiration to what? Perform in Dubai again? Perform at, be relevant overseas, apparently? Like, what is it? What's the aspiration? Because he wasted, $28,000, right? On a seat to go say jokes into a microphone. Like, I'm sorry. You can't come, sweetheart. I need that extra $28,000. It's not $280. It's not $2,800. That's $28,000, dude. Acting like it's not a lot of money. Like Aries is rich enough to even make this argument in the first place.
Afford such experiences, one should possess the desire and motivation to aim for them. He views compromise, opting for cheaper travel to stretch the budget for the destination, as antithetical to a holistic approach to reward and enjoyment.
And I go where my job takes me. And I'm going to say this about Saudi Arabia. Middle East, period. Listen, there are certain places where I go, I want to go there. I want to go to Italy. I always wanted to go to Africa.
That's
Thank
a
God
cope, dude.
my
You're
job
coping.
took me there. because I'm an animal fan, and I've always wanted to see animals not in cages in their natural habitat. So Africa's somewhere I want to go. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to China. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Australia. But then there are certain places I go, I don't ever have to go there. The Middle East, I don't ever have to go there. But my job took me there. Now, I don't have any reason to go to Singapore. Now, when you look at Singapore's first class, oh, that's a little bit better than Emirates. Because same thing, but with Emirates, again, you got the leather chair that turns into the bed.
I mean, it's so cool that he gets to share these experiences by going to Singapore and now Saudi Arabia performing comedy. That's great, man. That's huge. And guaranteed you weren't going for you. You were opening for somebody much bigger than you. Okay? 100%. You weren't even on the poster, dude. You weren't even on the poster for the Riyadh Festival, at least the one that I saw. I didn't take a hard look, but again, you could imagine it's the people that we all expect. Nobody fucking knows Aries Spears even today. But he gets to sit here and brag about how he can spend this money that's not his money, right? Somebody else is paying for it. He can brag about this and talk about how, yeah, you know, this is what my job just takes me to this place. I can't help it. What do you want me to do? If I gotta spend an extra $28,000 for a ticket so my wife can come, sure. Let's go. But we know that he's never made that kind of money in his life, and he didn't pay for that out of his pocket. He didn't cash app $28,000 to the airline to get that ticket. Okay? Those tickets were already bought. He didn't see, the 56 grand? He didn't see 56 grand leaving his pockets. He never saw that exchange of money whatsoever. He got tickets, he walked on a flight, that was that. But when he travels around to the little shitty comedy clubs that he does in America, he's driving a busted up Impala, okay? He's not moving around in America fancy whatsoever because, again, nobody cares. How much is Aries Spears even headlining at all? Anywhere? Because that's where the real money is. If he's going to these comedy clubs and it's not even being promoted to any degree as he's like the guy that's there, he ain't making money at all. None. That's why he's still wearing the same dusty-ass snapback, dusty-ass hoodie. He's looked the exact same. I bet he dyes his beard, too. There's no way his beard is that black, and he's 57 years old.
And Singapore, your suite, you got the chair, but then you have a little bit over a couch. And then you go down the hall
a
in
chair
your suite.
And a couch?
Yo, they got 2 full-on beds like these together where you and your girl could actually 35,000 feet in the air.
Whoa.
And then you got your own shower. On Emirates, you share the shower, but they clean it after everybody uses it each time. But on Singapore, yo, you got your own shower in your suite.
So you can take a shower in the shower.
Man, I want to smell it.
So that
I want to know. I gotta know.
So that's the Mile High Club Plus.
Yes. Matter of fact, the thing they just like with Emirates, there's economy plus, business class, first class. But with Singapore, the thing above first class, I think they call it like a first.
You know what this feels like to me? This feels like some little kid shit. This feels like a little kid talking about like how big his friend's house was. That's right. You know what I mean? Like he had a couch next to a chair, and then there was a second couch, dude. 2 couches and a chair. I mean, he had 3 TVs. There was 2 controllers for the game system, man. I couldn't even believe it. And a trampoline right next to a pool, dude. Above ground pool. Come on. And he's 58 years old. You know what I mean? Grown ass man talking about this cool airplane ride that he took. I don't care at all. I don't care at all. This is the dumbest shit ever. I don't know why I even made this video, but if you liked it, subscribe.